First of all, I want to thank you all so much for joining us today. We here at Seabrooks are very excited to be able to facilitate these webinars on a monthly basis for everyone. And I want to give a special thank you to Dawn Helmrich with the United Way of Greater Milwaukee, who's going to be our presenter today. I do want to go over just a couple of quick housekeeping rules. I will be muting everyone when Dawn begins her demonstration. However, Dawn has expressed that she enjoys taking questions as she's giving the presentation. So if you would like to ask a question, then please utilize the little raise hand, the button that you see to the right of your screen there. And then I will unmute you and you'll be able to answer the question. And we will also be recording today's presentation, and so we'll be making that available to everybody as well. So with that being said, let me go ahead and mute everyone and then pass the baton to Dawn. And just need 1 second here. Okay, so I'm passing the baton to you, Dawn, and please take it away.
Thank you very much, Don. I just wanted to welcome all of you to this webinar. This is the first webinar that I've ever given, so please be patient with me. I also have a cold on top of that, so be patient with me if I cough or sneeze. I really appreciate all of you and your interest in the Community Outcomes Project. My presentation today is really going to talk about something that has been really a success for us here at United Way of Greater Milwaukee. A little bit about me. I am the Associate Director of Community Impact here, and I've been in this job for 4 years. I came on just as this project was beginning, and so I've pretty much been here since the onset of it. Don, I can't move the presentation. I'm not able to move the presentation. The PowerPoint.
Can you click on the little arrow that says next page up at the top there? Just to the right of where it says 01.
It's not moving.
Oh, okay. Give me 1 second here.
Oh, there we go. There we go. I got it. Sorry about that, folks. I just wanted to give you a little bit of our outcomes background. We started about 12 years ago with moving into community impact. And at that time, the requirements around outcomes were such that it was very new. It was about program accountability and accountability in general. We did program outcomes for 12 years, and our agencies became experts in doing outcomes. Our donors started to inquire about the impact that we were having on more than just a particular set of clients. So we used to be able to say things like the Boys and Girls Club does this or the Girl Scouts does this, but we were never able to get a hold on what our entire population of funded programs that work in youth development were. And so as our donors started to want more of that information, we realized that we had to come up with a way to do that. So we researched across the United States all the different models and programming that was out there to be able to do this. And what we found is that nobody really had a model for collecting outcomes on a collective basis. There was no common framework. And so we decided to create our own model. So really our vision was to be able to develop a set of outcomes and indicators to use as a tool to measure progress over time. And in doing that, we wanted to identify some best practices so that we could show what the benefits of the lives of the people that we were serving in the community were, and if there were any emerging issues or gaps that needed to be filled. So as I said, yes.
I'm sorry, Dawn, just so you know, there's a little bit of a delay when you click the move forward a screen. Not much, but just a little bit of a delay.
Okay, thank you. So as I said, we had a long history of programmatic outcomes. We really understood that no two communities were the same. That my community is different than Ohio, is different than Phoenix, Arizona. And so we really wanted to be very careful as to what we were going to produce that was going to be very specific to the population that we served. The other thing that we really wanted to do was make sure that we were engaging our program partners. For many, 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 many years, I think, especially in our United Way, we were seen as a funder and solely as a funder. And the relationship between our program partners and United Way staff was not always good. And so we really, really wanted to enhance that partnership piece. We wanted across-the-board collaboration, and we also came to the conclusion that this was going to take a period of time, that this was not going to happen overnight. So the first thing that we needed to do was really identify, of all of our issue areas that we had, what was going to be the one we were going to start with. And we chose youth development. And the reason we chose youth development there were several reasons. The first reason was that it was our largest investment. It was what we put the most money in. We spent over $4 million investing in youth development. We had over 22 program partners and over 22 agencies and 26 program partners in that area. We also knew that youth in our community were really struggling with poverty, graduation, teen pregnancy rates were very high, and that positive youth outcomes were difficult to gauge. So we started asking some questions to these youth development organizations, such as, what are your strengths, what are you struggling in, what do your demographics say? We wanted to know what was going on locally. We wanted to look at what was going on nationally. We looked for who the experts were in the field. And then we had to identify who we wanted to sit around the table with us. And we knew that our community partners were very important. The nonprofit organizations that we funded, both outside and funded programs, I should say, we invited government entities and elected officials to the table, although I do have to say that they did not show. But we also asked for faith-based groups and law enforcement and educational institutions, anyone that could help us understand what was going on in this particular area.